Alright, hopefully everyone can hear me well. Welcome back everybody to another replay cast. My third I should say, of this very young replay cast system that we have going on for moonducktv. Very excited to be here again. Alright. I'm still a little bit sick, so bear with me here. This is, like I said, it's the third replay cast. It has actually been ordered by a guy named Nilchisto from Columbus, Ohio. So, thank you, Nilchisto, for supporting moonducktv. Let's get into it. As you can see, fairly lengthy game here, not as long as the one yesterday. Unfortunately, I have the burden of knowledge already of knowing how long these games are. I kind of wish I didn't see the length, but it's okay. It happens every time, and so with that, we'll go through the lineups real quick. So you got Nilchisto playing the Drow Ranger, our supposed hero, as we have some all-chatting going on currently. Some nice all-chat, nothing bad-mannered just yet. On the other side, or rather on this side, but on the other side of the map is Sox Cousteau. Funny name, like Jacques. He'll be playing the Centaur Warrunner. You have Scottman6 playing the Dusa. You have Khalif playing the Vengeful Spirit, and that will leave Modern Scribe. What a name on the Dazzle. On the other side, you have Evizul. Not sure how you pronounce that. Evizul on the Axe. Elraelian on the Shadow Demon. Torpedo Felix on the Keeper of the Light. Comrade Bubba on the Morphling. And Mr. Banana Man with the clan tag Chewy playing the Wind Ranger. So, some interesting names, to be sure. Some wards being placed down, some early action at these bounty runes, nothing too heavy. It is going to be a pretty standard laning setup for both squads. You have the solo offlaner Centaur Warrunner here in the top lane with the mid-deuce, interestingly enough, and then followed by, of course, the defensive tri-lane coming out here for the Drow, Venge, and Dazzle. On the other side, you do have a dual aggressive offlane with the Axe as well as Shadow Demon. Some nice pressure there. Wind Ranger against the Stusa. This is interesting matchup, followed up by in that top lane a Coddle and Morphling, which we've seen a lot recently. Actually, I saw this the other day casting in a professional tournament, and it worked out pretty well to a certain extent. Anyway, so we'll start off with the laning phase here. One thing I do like to guess is just like the MMR level and skill level of some of these players, and well, it's tough to tell now. If we look at itemization wise, let's just look and see. No TPs yet, which is fine, I suppose. Wind Ranger going for a pretty standard build. Deuce is going for a pretty standard build. I would guess it's at least above 3k, I would imagine. There's some decent vision on the map. I'd say right now it's looking like 3.5k. Just with the way the lanes are set up, as well as the itemization, and the heroes that were picked. I would say this is at least 3.5k. I would be surprised if it was any lower than that. Again, a good indication of these types of things is who has, like, do they smoke early on? And, oh my gosh, Sox Cousteau is about to die. But so well as Aurelian, but it looks like he might survive. Sox Cousteau might not be so lucky. Comrade Bubba is going to waste a lot of time here in terms of his CS, and he's not going to find Sox Cousteau. He's not going to go for that kill. Torpedo Felix is really going in there, and Sox Cousteau, he has been pinged out. They know that he's there, and the last right click, it will be Torpedo Felix getting it. And Morphling will secure an assist for himself. It is First Blood going the way of the Dire team here in this top lane, interestingly enough. Good start. He just got caught out. It looks like a waveform, maybe an Illuminate going into the face, and well, it's still okay, though, for the Radiant team, because they're getting rather good farm on this, both Dusa as well as this Drow Ranger down to the bottom lane. 1 second. Resolution, extended pause, no problem. Some real mannered stuff happening here, stuff that you don't usually see. Still pause, good, excellent, great stuff. And it looks like a pretty long pause, too. Wow. Is it really? This long of a pause? Man, that was a long pause. Back into the game, though, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. That's the great thing about replay casting, is that we can skip those longish pauses. And Really good. Illuminate's going to go, or rather not Illuminate, but Disruption's going to go, and they won't be able to set up a kill for Evzil because, well, Koif's not really in... this is the problem. He went with Tear level 1. This is the issue with the... that's one thing I don't like. You're in a tri lane, you're not going to get that much experience. If you can get a quick level 2, then I'm okay with it, but you have Wave of Tear at level 1 in a tri lane, a defensive tri lane at that. Well, I mean, you should be pulling, and they're going to try to go again, the Wave of Tear. If they had Magic Missile, this might be a kill, but Aurelian knows that he doesn't, so he can play a little bit more loosely around Kolif. He saw the Wave of Terror. It is level 2 now for the Vengeful Spirit, but she's out of mana. She luckily has a Clarity, and they could try to get a kill next time with that particular ability. It's just that they could have had a kill had they had Vengeful Spirit having a Magic Missile. I don't know why she skilled up Wave of Terror early on. I don't know. Maybe to kill the illusions quicker. I'm not sure. Alright, not the worst thing in the world. Let me make sure that my recording is actually recording. It is good. Alright, sorry about that. Melchisto's got Boots of Speed as well as a Wraithbane, which will, I'm sure, be turned into a Keel at some point. It's going to be interesting to see the item that he goes for. The last replay we cast with the Drow Ranger went for a Maelstrom first into like a Dragonlance Mjolnir, which is fine, but I'm not a huge fan of Mjolnir on that hero anymore with the Aghanim Scepter being available. I just think Aghanim's is so good. I mean, you don't have to get Aghanim, I just prefer it more so than anything else. Tranquil Boots for the Keeper of the Light as he sits underneath that Observer Ward. No smokes purchased yet. Both teams have a Flying Courier, so again, roughly around that 3.5k mark, I would say, maybe a bit lower. Again, I wouldn't say under 3,000. I mean, this is just an estimated guess based off of 4.5 minutes of play. And I'm not going to keep, you know, going back to it because it's not important what their MMR is. What's important is the heart that they play with and how well they do and how exciting the game is. It looks like it could be a bit of a farm-oriented game. I mean, I'm okay with that, but we'll see what it comes down to. I mean, there's a lot of hard carries in this game, but there's also a lot of action heroes. That's a term I just made up, by the way, action hero. I don't know what that really means, but this is what happens when you're sick with a sinus infection. Waveform's going to go. They have the Mana Leak as well into Centaur, but he's level 5. On top of that, he has Tranquil Boots to help him regen if he gets caught out. He can just back up and regen up and be fine. So good speed here. It's going to be a Magic Missile coming in, but just to stop the aggression. Look how tanky these guys are, at least this Axe right now. And Kolif might be the one to get caught out. They have an Observer Ward. They're not going to die for this, though. I think with Berserker's Call coming back up, they could have gone for that kill, but they didn't have mana for really any more spells from the Shadow Demon. He probably had enough for Soul Catcher, but that's about it. And Melchisto finally starting to get pushed out of lane. This is the problem with this hero. I mean, the good thing about Drow is that it counters Axe in lane pretty hard, because if you start running at somebody, you just get, you know, slowed up by this Frost Arrow. And I'd like to see him level it up along with the Precision Aura. So we'll see how this Axe can do. He's only got 7 last hits. I mean, this is the good thing. Like, I was thinking this aggressive lane was going to be tough for the Drow Ranger, but, I mean, this is the thing with Drow. Like, I talked about the Frost Arrows and having that range, too. And they have 3 ranged heroes, not just, you know, a couple of melees or what have you. So this should be a fine lane as long as they stay with 2 heroes down here to help out, or, excuse me, a hero down here to help out the Drow Ranger. Phase Boots up for the Wind Ranger. Meanwhile, Scottman's going to have his, plus the Aquila completed momentarily. Pretty slow start. Not really much happening here, honestly. 1 kill, which was the Centaur getting caught out, but the Centaur still doing pretty well. 13 last hits. He's going to get Mana Leaked again. That's probably really annoying with somebody that has as low of a mana pool as he does. Minor Scribe goes around the world to place down that Observer Ward, and it worked out pretty well. Man, 45 last hits for Scottman 6. He's crushing it. We haven't really been watching this lane, but he's really doing a lot of work against Mr. Banana here. Melchisto is 28, so both safe lane carries sitting roughly around the same last hit level. I feel like maybe the Morphling's having trouble CSing because he shouldn't be behind in CS against a Drow Ranger. I guess the Drow Ranger really can... I mean, she's not even 6 yet, so it's still pretty hard to CS. I guess you have Treads and a kill, so you have really good damage, but I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me. No Observer Ward for the Dire team unless he walked through jungle, which I don't think he did. I think he went to get the top rune, or at least he just started walking in. Meanwhile, Mr. Banana is so low. They're going to go for the Stampede. Double Edge, he really just wants to use it, and wow, she's actually going to live. Salva's going to go through, it's going to get canceled, and Sox Cousteau will rotate in and grab a kill. Meanwhile, they find the silence into Aurelian. He's going to go ahead and disrupt himself, and now they'll back away. They really want this kill, and Nilchisto will not be able to get it, and here comes Evzul trying to find some sort of counter initiation, but look at Nilchisto's damage, even without that level 6. They won't be successful in getting the kill. However, they do push back the Shadow Demon without any
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
regen. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. They won't be able to find a kill. Or, excuse me, he won't be able to stay in lane. So, 1,300 gold for the Medusa as she backs away and helping get that kill. I think she got the assist for it. She did, Medusa. So she's having a very good game, and we'll see what the Medusa wants to go for first. Is it going to be a Dragonlance? Is it going to be Yasha into Scotty into Lincoln Sphere, or Lincoln Sphere into Scotty into Mantis? I mean, there's so many different options you can have on a Medusa that it's wide open, really. Some good observer wards here, though, as the entrance to the jungle, as well as deep in the jungle, which was placed down earlier. So the Dire team have an advantage in terms of vision right now, but you can see the Radiant team seem to know something is up. They had this observer ward. They scouted out the fact that the Wind Ranger was, in fact, going into the jungle. And meanwhile, the Centaur has picked himself up a cloak, so he's gonna delay his blink dagger by a little bit.
Under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Uh-oh. Stampy's gonna go, but he's gonna get maybe stunned up if he's not careful. In fact, he will. Mana Leak did stun him up, but he had to use the Stampede defensively. Another Mana Leak is there. Sox Cousteau will be stunned. They're not going to go for the waveform, though. They're just trying to zone him out of this experience and CS range, but he's going to be persistent and stay in there. He really wants to get this gold. Again, it's 1-1 at this point in time. 10 minutes into the game. Not much happening.
Every coin helps.
Very quiet laning phase. No smokes, little to no group up action at 10 minutes in. I feel like they could really rotate Sox Cousteau around a lot more, but he's just sitting top at this point. You know, they could find kills bottom with the help of him. I get it, you have a Medusa, you're not really going to rotate her around that much. But I feel like they could do a little bit more. And that goes for both teams, really. I mean, yes, you don't have a Blink Dagger on the Axe. I mean, you're waiting on those big items, the Blink Daggers, for both of these heroes, I would imagine. But I feel like you could get more done with these heroes and some TPs as well. Like smoke, TP top, go for a kill, or vice versa. I don't know, it just doesn't really make that much sense to me.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Anyway. Ugh. This game is an hour long. Around that period of time, I believe. So I'm excited to see how it does progress through, but call will go. It's probably not going to work against a Centaur. But they do Demonic Purge him. Disruption is not available. They don't have enough mana. They have some good mana regeneration, but it's just not going to be there in time. 120 mana is a little bit hard to break up, but they will have a Wind Ranger coming through. Stomp's going to go. Stampede, they're turning this around. There's the Wave of Tear. They've got Magic Missile. They instead go into Banana Man. Sox wants to come in, but now it's going to be the Medusa throwing up that Mystic Snake, and they will find the Axe for their last right click coming through. And so finally some rotations, but this time it's the rest of the team rotating to the aid of the Centaur Warrunner, but it does provide them a kill, and a pretty big one at that. It stops the Axe from progressing into that Blink Dagger, and it helps get Sox Cousteau some even bigger gold advantage, as well as Scottman, who has picked up his ultimate orb already. And if he goes Manta first, I'm going to lose it, but I think it's probably more than likely a Lincoln Sphere.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You really don't ever see ultimate orbs when you try to go Manta first. You usually go for that Yasha. They'll take down the opposing off-lane towers here. The Glyph will go for one team. TP's going to come through from the Centaur. This is actually taking a really long time. And he will get it inevitably, but will take some time. Torpedo Felix will take a stomp. Double Edge is already gone. Comrade Bubba is going to have to wait for him away. He's got mana to strength morph. Meanwhile, Sox Cousteau does get mana leech, and he will have to actually go for a Double Edge in order to get this kill, but it's going to be tough. He's going to get stunned again, and there it is. And Torpedo Felix should be able to get away. He's looking for an Illuminate. He doesn't have Illuminate. He has 2 points of mana leak, which is great and really frustrating. But power shot, and the creeps get the kill, and now Mr. Banana Man is looking for a second. And he does get some help from the creeps pulling the creep away, wave away. There's the shackle shot, and more than likely Koloth is dead as Mr. Banana Man just plinks him through with the focus fire. Nice kills there, and Torpedo Felix actually turns 2 just by baiting that really hard. Some overextensions by the Radiant team that turned out to be pretty significant and really unfortunate for them. But while this is all happening, they still have Nilchisto farming very well. He's almost at his Dragonlance. Well, he went for the casual Morbid Mass, I think, just to farm the jungle. And then the Duso, of course, well, we've already talked about her. Lincoln Sphere on the way with just, I think the recipe's now 1,000 gold, I believe it was what it was changed to. It is. So only 600 gold away for Scott May to have his Lincoln Sphere. And you might not be able to fight really just with a Lincoln Sphere, but you certainly can farm pretty effectively. You can use your Mystic Snake a lot more willy-nilly. It's just a nice item. Gives you some nice stats. On the other side, Mech for the Keeper of Light. No Illuminate build, but he is going to be picking up the Mech, and he's going to have it rather soon, unless he dies here. There are 2 heroes mid. It is Khalif, who's on that Vengeful Spirit. This Drow Ranger, we'll see after the Dragonlance if he decides to go for an Axe or for another farming item. The Dragonlance obviously very good. Shackle Shot will go, but it's not going to hit. They will use that Stone Gaze. Rotating it is Sox Cousteau. He drops a ward right down this one. However, nothing was spotted. Meanwhile, Gust is going to come through. They're going to try to bring down the Shadow Demon. Stomp is going to hit up. They've got the Disable as well as that Double Edge, and they're looking to try to turn this around, but Evzol decides to back away. They get that Frost Arrow. The Mana Leak will come again, and that's just stopping Sox Cousteau at every turn. Shackle Shot will lash in at Il Chisto, but again, Sox comes in. He's the bodyguard. Another Mana Leak. The Shadow Wave will come through. There's the Blinding Light, but he was already stunned. There's the Berserker's Call coming out. Sox Cousteau being left behind the graves there. Good Gust. They're going to try to turn this. Double Edge. There's the Shadow Wave, but it looks like that'll be the end of it. They're looking for another Mana Leak here. Power Shot will split the wickets, and they're going to find that Shackle up onto Il Chisto. He's stunned for a couple of seconds here. Meanwhile, top lane, Comrade Bubba doing what Morphlings do best, split pushing. Well, he does a lot. He does a lot of things really well. I shouldn't say that's his best thing that he does, but 73 last hits compared to the 85 and 107 of this Deuce. Scottman having a great grade. Nilchisto also getting a lot of room to work with here.
Double damage.
And there's that mech done for the Keeper of the Light. Boom shakalaka. Mid lane. Disruption onto Sox Cousteau. Stampede on cooldown. There's the Demonic Purge as well. Sox Cousteau. They'll take some damage from this, but they really want this kill. Shadow Poison up to 3 stacks. Meanwhile, Double Edge, it's not going to be enough. The Culling Blade, they turn it around. There's the Power Shot, and Modern Scribe is going to have to hightail it out of here. Shackle Shot won't last, but the Focus Fire is up, and he does not get off his grave in time as the waveform comes through and clips him down. So some aggressive play again from this Radiant team that does not pay off. I do like the pace that they're setting, though, against this squad, but now it's going to be tough because there is that Blink Dagger for Evzol on the Axe. Question is, what does the Deuce go next now? I'm intrigued. And the mech is up for the Keeper of the Light, by the way, so that's really cool, too. No Blink Dagger for the Centaur. He's going to go for a Blade Mail, and that's not going to help him against... This is a big problem. I feel like Sox Cousteau is really just going for the wrong items. I feel like if you go for a Blink Dagger, then the Mana Leak is never an issue, because you just kill the freaking Keeper of the Light first in every single situation. I do like how Torpedo Felix is playing this. I will say I was a bit questionable about not having Illuminate and going for 3 points into the Mana Leak, but it has really worked out. It's a 7-second duration. It's got a huge cast range. Stun duration of 2.5 seconds. Really solid stuff, honestly. But the leak percentage is the same. So you don't lose more mana the more you level it up. You just get only a little bit, you know, the stun duration like we talked about, and the cast range is pretty huge. So he arguably could have got away with this at level 2, I think. He didn't have to level it up to level 3, but it's fine nonetheless. There's the Gust, and a couple of right clicks. He'll mech himself up. Nilchisto trying to chase him down. He's going to try to bring somebody in, or at least use his Blinding Light to get away, and he does so nicely. Nilchisto actually has to head on out. So frustrating as an enemy carry to try to bring somebody down, and he just hits you with a Blinding Light. You're just like, well, I don't have MKB yet, so that sucks. Going to go for a Shadow Blade, by the way. Evzol and Sox Cousteau going toe-to-toe. One of them is going to get chopped down. It's going to be the Double Edge, and this time Sox Cousteau will live. Shadow Wave's going to come through. Mana Leak is up. The Urn Charge is there, and he's sitting back at his tower. He'll be fine. Shadow Poison will come again, and that will be annoying. Power Shot, they make sure they cancel that Urn as much as possible. Sox Cousteau will not go down to the Shadow Poison. A good attempt from Elrelian, but it's not enough. So persistent. Morphling. Boots of Speed, Ring of Basilius, Ring of Health, and an Eagle Song. Huh. Not sure how I feel about the very early shotgun. Ethereal Blade. I don't think I like it that much. I would prefer if you had Shreds and a Lincoln Spear before you went that. So, like, unless you have really good replicates, you're not going to be hitting that hard, honestly. I mean, that's nothing to do with the replicates. I was kind of thinking of two different thought processes there. I don't know. It was kind of strange for me to see that build. Nonetheless, I mean, it could work out. He picks up the Ethereal Blade. He can start finding takeoffs, and they can turn this game right around. I mean, they're not that far behind. Only a 3,000 net worth disadvantage and a 1,500 experience advantage currently for this Dire team. So there's that. And Scottman has picked himself up that Lincoln Sphere, as we have talked about, in 2,000 gold. So he's slowed a little down a little, I should say. That would be the correct English grammar. Man. But yeah, he's been slowed down a little bit. Not by much, I don't think. Blinding Light pushing back Saxusto, but he gets the stomp off. There's the Blade Mail, the Double Edge. He's going to have to mech up the Demonic Purge just so that he can't chase him down. Here comes Evzil. Call will go, but the Stone Gaze is up and ready to fly, and they're trying to get this guy turned around, but Evzil getting chewed down now. They will bring him down, and that is a huge kill. Not only that, the Stampede. See you later, Felix. That nuisance in Saxusto's head has gone too long. However, Aurelian will get the kill with the Shadow Poison stacks very high, bringing him down from about 20% to 30% HP. However, that is the only loss they will take, and they will get 3 kills out of it. And not only that, but more than likely this tower, they have a Drow Ranger ready to go. And Ilchisto will just go to work.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Is this game really going to go an hour long?
Radiant's top tower
hard to believe.
is under attack.
Maybe not. Maybe 40 minutes, I suppose, but still. Ilchisto and this crew of bandits, I'll call them, on this Radiant side, despite not having a team name. I think this might actually be Captain's Mode. How do I look at that exactly?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I guess I can't look at it, but I do believe this is
Dire's
Captain's
top
Mode.
tower is
We'll
under
go back. I
attack.
guess we can go back to the beginning. Yeah, this is Captain's Mode. Wow.
Dire team.
Waters rise.
So where are we at in the game? We're actually a little far behind where we were. We're 19 minutes in, I believe. There we go. Alright, we're back. I like this play. They were just getting those kills earlier, and they're going to be even more aggressive. However, look at the positioning now from this Dire team. They're not really that far in. So instead, they might just put some wards down, take this tier 1, put some pressure onto the 2-2 tower. I think this is the first smoke of the game, by the way, 20-some-odd minutes in. So this must be a 5-man game, then, if they're playing Captain's Mode. So all 5 of these players on the rating side playing really well. Not to say the Dire team is playing bad, but uh-oh, Evzil, Demon, or rather Double Edge, he's getting the call off, so he has that extra armor for a moment. The Magic Missile's there. Not dead, the Mystic Snake will get the job done. Now Aurelian is next. Stone Gaze is up, there's the Blade Mail. The Stomp is up, the Double Edge. They will get 3 kills. That is a huge fight for them, and they might get a 4th as well. If they had a Scotty, Torpedo Felix would be dead. On the other side, Ilchisto gets the 4th and the double kill. Dragonlance Shadowblade, he is going in, and now he has taken up the top spot in net worth ahead of that Dusa. And they will take a tier 2 tower. I just don't know how this game drags on for another 20 minutes or so, because that was a huge fight going the way of the Radiant team. That's almost a game-winning fight right there, because they can push high ground now. There's no Wind Ranger, and there's no Morphling for 20 seconds, but they're not going to push high ground. That, I feel, especially with the Siege Creep, was a mistake. They could have gone again easily, in my opinion, but they won't. I know there's going to be a Keeper of the Light, and he will have no Illuminate. That's the thing. They don't know that he doesn't have an Illuminate, but they could have gone there. They could have definitely at least put some chip damage. They could have gotten this low and probably taken the tier 3 tower, actually. So they kind of... I think they were a bit too passive there. That's okay, though. They make a call, and they don't lose anybody for it. They don't get caught out. That's probably the better thing. I know I'm I'm getting real into this, but
Double damage.
it's not a bad call. It's just that you could have been more aggressive there, I think. Anyway, 3.4k gold is your gold for the Drow Ranger, so we'll see what he... You could go for the Silver Edge, you could pick up the Aghanim Scepter, you could turn this into a Hurricane Pike if you really want to, you could pick up a Manta Style. There's a lot of different options here for Nilchisto. You could really go for a Maelstrom Mjolnir if you want to, I wouldn't. You could pick up the Helm of Dom if you really feel like you need that Satanic later on down the road. Great Shackle Shot, this might be a good fight, but actually... They're not really ready to fight yet. Soxku still looking for a stomp. Good Orchid. Disruption, however, is actually going to get him out of it, but he's really far away from his team now. Still, the call is going to go. Soxku still really not taking that much damage. Demonic Purge. Adaptive Strike. There's the waveform. Didn't use his Ethereal Blade. Was on cooldown. Meanwhile, the Gus is up. Nilchisto taking too much damage. Has to Shadow Blade away. There's the swap out. Call is up on Calling. They've lost 2. They're about to lose 3. His Shadow Blade is going to be up for a little while longer. He might be able to TP out, but he's out of mana. They might lose Modern Scribe here. And finally, it's the first good fight here for this dire team. And they won't dive the tier 1 tower. Yes, they will. Evzil going back in with the Blink Dagger. No Helix procs really coming out. Modern Scrub, though, still taking the power shot. Grave is down. Great Blinding Light. Misses the counter, rather the Calling Blade. But it is going to be 3 kills going the way of this dire team. Finally turning it around. And still in the tree line is Nilchisto. He's got a TP in right now, and he should use it. In fact, he will. Big turnaround fight there. And they get... Well, that's only the 1 kill, but they should have gotten probably about 1,000 to 2,000 gold out of that.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Big
fallen.
fight. They don't get the 2 big heroes, the Medusa, whose MKB is right around the corner, and the Drow Ranger, who still has 3,600 gold, but they do get some much needed kills. Force Staff for the Shadow Demon up and ready to go. Ogre Club, Point Booster. They were at almost a 10,000 net worth lead, and now it's down about 6,000 instead. Experience-wise is around 5,000 advantage, so not the end of the world for this raiding team, but they should know that they are mortal, in fact, that they are killable, that this game is not over. Not that they really ever thought that to begin with. If they thought that, they would have pushed high ground when I was talking about it earlier, but I'm not going to stay on that. I've been talking about it for like 10 minutes, so I think that's enough of that. Excuse me. Aghanim Scepter almost there for the Wind Ranger. Roche has not been taken yet, but it's not really been a Roche type of game. Torpedo Felix, if that was the Venge, probably would have been dead. He would have been swapped back instead. Shadow Demon comes in, throws Disruption and a point of poison as well. Magic Missile is there. And Nilchisto's going to come in. Uh-oh, Ethereal Blade gets forced down. Not the play. The Grave is up there. The counter Helix procs are in. They've got the Stone Gaze, but they need to get out. Now they'll try to kite Evzil here. He's trying to get close. The Battle Hunger is there. Nilchisto might die to it, but he does get that last hit, and so therefore, he'll keep himself alive. Split Shot is up, and they will get the kill with that MKB for Scottman. Finally, again, running over this dire team. Nobody dead here. Nilchisto getting low. Disruption's going to come out. That won't bring him down. He'll be able to deal with these illusions, no problem. On the other side, Soxkuto looking for that 4th pickup. Can he find it? Torpedo Felix will get back to the base of time. Mana Leak is there. Soxkuto should be fine. He's baiting him. Oh, if only he had that Blink Dagger right now. Look at Torpedo Felix just bait him. Look at him. Look at the bait. And yeah, that was what he was waiting for. Comrade Bubba. I gotta say, even if the Dire team loses, which might happen, might not, Torpedo Felix has still played an incredible Keeper of the Light game. Maybe incredible is too strong of a word, but I really like his play. And here we go. It's the high ground push with Dragonlance. They'll at least put a little tower damage in. You can hit it from a very far range, but you can see Comrade Bubba's like, I've got Ethereal Blade. I can kill you. Imagine how much damage you'd be doing if he had a full Lincolns and Treads on this. And he was full Agi, which of course... Look at his strength. It's too much. Too much. There's going to be the Lincoln Sphere breaking. Power Shot. Or rather, Shackle Shot is going to be there. There's the Ethereal Blade, still very tanky, but not that tanky. Demonic Purge, the poisons are up. They're going to bring him down. It's a dominating spree. It is taken by the Shadow Demon. That sucks, but they do get a lot of gold out of this. The Adaptive Strike, Binding, Modern Scribe, and he should fall. He's going to grave himself, but they have Culling Blade, and that's not going to save you. Just chop him. Evzil, you have an ability that goes through that, by the way. Don't know if you know that or not. So it doesn't show the Deuce of Death, but that's actually a pretty big kill. So this is just getting a little bit harder for this Radiant team, even after that big team fight. Oops. Wait, hold on. Back it up. Alright, there we go.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
TP's in. This looks like it's going to be a big fight. No Deucer for 5. No Chisto's here. He's got the Shadow Blade. Sox is coming in with a newly minted Blink Dagger. What kind of fight are we going to see here? Look, everyone's grouped up right now. Here we go. Jump in, stomp, onto 2, almost getting 3. Comrade Bubba getting chewed down, but not dead yet. Now no Chisto, in trouble, blown away. Ethereal Blade doing the job. And, well, Elrelion actually just narrowly avoiding that. Magic Missile is going to hit. Scottman really wants this kill. Not going to find it. There's the Shackle Shot. Elrelion going to work. 2 dead on this Radiant side. Now 3 is on the backside. The Axe and the Morphling come in and blow house. Sox, Cousteau, and Scottman are going to have to back away. There's the stomp. They'll go for it. He actually doesn't have much mana left. Evzil gets the call off. Split shot is still on. Scottman's losing a lot of damage here to it. And he's not turning it off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Like, I understand that at some point you have a lot of damage. But I don't know about that. Not sure about that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sorry about that. Alright. Centaur is going to build into his hood. Good stuff. Modern Scribe actually has some pretty good farm for a Dazzle in this game. It's died, well, only 4 times somehow. Pretty low score game. 30 kills at 30 minutes is not... I guess low score for in comparison to most pubs that I've seen recently and the ones that I've played. And there's that Axe for the Wind Ranger. She went Orchid first, which I'm actually okay with. She was doing some pretty good damage, and now she's going to do even more. Almost at the level 3 ultimate too, so the damage reduction will be gone. Into Roche we go, but guess what? There's an Observer Ward here. However, that probably didn't scout out them going into the Roche. However, that Wave of Terror might have been seen. The only unfortunate thing about replays is that you can't see pings and drawings in the map. So you don't know where teams are looking, really. I think you might be able to on if you do player perspective.
Roshan has
Roche is gonna go down. Be sure to pick it up. I'm just trying to see if you can find if you can see pings. It doesn't look like it, unless these teams aren't pinging. Oh, and back we go. Oh God, no! That's annoying. My apologies. It's right after their first Roche. I don't know. I think it was like 27 minutes into the game. Alright, it was 15 to 15 when we last saw them. Alright, that's a little too far. Perfect. Anyways, back to where we were. Stop. Wind Ranger in a lot of trouble. Oh, wait, that was the replicate. Huh. That's weird. Alright, that was really weird. Anyway, Tier 3 tower under siege, and Scottman 6 looking to get up on that high ground. Power Shot's going to go through, and they have to wait for that creep wave again. A lot of good wave clear, obviously. Filipino Felix is running right out there. He drops down a Sentry Ward. That was very dangerous. I thought he wanted to blind light them back to initiate, which would have been interesting. But that's not actually the case. Shackle Shot does not latch, was close. They were both standing still. They could have gotten them. Well, Chisto is going to be orchided up, and it's going to be wasted. They don't find anything with it. It'll take some damage from it, but it's not going to do really anything. You can see it there, in fact. Doesn't really take damage from it at all. But both teams kind of waiting to go right now, playing footsie at this point, trying to find the right initiation on that high ground. They have a ward there, too, so they have vision if they want to go for a stomp, and I think he's going to at some point in time. And there it is. He'll find Aurelian. He's going to get blown up with the shotgun. Not yet. They get the grave off. There's the shackle shot coming through, latching him up. And instead of going for the base, they're going to push them back. They have the stone gaze up. They should be hitting the tower. Del Chisto is doing just that right now, but Scottman is too deep in. Focus fire. He has an Aegis, luckily. The mech will go through, and Evzil gets chewed down, 2 dead. Very big kills coming out. No buyback for either of them. There's going to be the orchid up. There's the waveform. Scottman about to lose that Aegis. Del Chisto does not have that luxury. Needs to be careful. They'll back out. Ethereal Blade on the siege creep. Comrade Bubba, he was silenced up for a minute. Now they're going to try to find this kill. Stampede, they shouldn't dive too much here. And look how far they're going. They're at the tier 4 tower. And finally, they will back up and in. And they will take down the racks. They get lucky there because they were missing 2 heroes. They'll take this full set of racks, but they did dive a little too deep. Orchid's up. Stomp is ready, but he just Orchids just in time. And Sox Cousteau looks like he will fall. And that's Blade Mail did almost bring Mr. Banana Man down, but he will stay alive and end up getting the kill. So, pretty nice plays overall from both teams. Almost holding there, but it just was too much, especially with that Aegis. And so they lose that set of racks, which is pretty disheartening for this Dire team. Really good stuff for the Radiant team, however. Again, they did dive a little bit too deep, but they accomplished what they came for, which was that full set of racks. Manta style recipe is up for the Deucin now, so finally getting that item. No Scotty yet. I would prefer the Scotty over the Manta at this point in time. At least the Yasha you can have, you can get the Scotty, and then you can go for the Manta after. Nilchisto about to lose his life, and probably the Courier as well, but now he's able to Silver Edge out, and he's going to have to stay there as the Mana Leak is on him for 7 seconds. But he'll be able to move away now. He did wait an extra second there, but that's okay. And he just TP's out. There's a ward. They see him TPing, and it's unfortunate. Torpedo Field just like, well, if I was over there, I could have Mana Leak blinding lighted him, and he might have died. But, mana back to full from the Chisto. And he has his Silver Edge and Manta Style, so he's been on int treads for a long time. I don't think I've seen him switch to agility or strength. It's okay. You don't have to tread switch to be a great player. Gots tweeted this out a little while ago, a couple of days, months ago, or not 1 month, but weeks ago. He said, it's not all about mechanics. Mushi, who is a TI3 finalist, did not tread swap at all. So it's not all about that, which I agree with.
Double damage.
Although, guys, if you're newer to the game or someone that's in that lower MMR bracket, definitely try thread swapping. It's worth it. There's a lot of good reasons to do so. Especially if you're playing something like an anti-mage. Nilchisto is going to get caught out, though, and he's going to get blown away. Huge kill. A good way to start off this fight for the Dire team. Will they go any further is the question. Stampede out. Here comes the Dusa, just throwing some right clicks out and doing a lot of work. It's not enough, however. Aurelian's going in, throwing up the Shadow Poison. He's up to 3 charges, but it's not really going to do that much with the Mana Shield on. Jump and stomp onto 2. But he's not on the high ground. They don't have that much damage coming up from Scottman. 5 stacks might do a bit more damage from that Shadow Poison. And it's going to pop here in a good 10 seconds. Dusa will still find that Keeper of the Light. He'll walk in, 5 stacks will go, and you can see how much damage it does. If that Mana Shield wasn't there, it'd be a lot worse. You can see Sox is chasing after Aurelian. Double Edge not going to be in there in time. He forces himself away, but still will get the kill. Does fall to the power shot in the end, as well as I think the Shadow Poison. So that Drow Ranger doesn't get blown up, then that fight definitely goes more in favor of the Radiant team. Also, they were pushing in the wrong lanes. Look at where the waves are right now on both sides of the map. You can see here in this bottom lane, here in the top lane. Mid lane doesn't really have much for them to offer at this point in time, unless they're trying to go for tier 4s. No TP for Scottman, so if he gets caught out, he's kind of screwed. Mech almost done for the Dazzle. It's a little bit late, but that's okay. Thought they already have one? I suppose not.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Never too late for Guardian Greaves, though.
Every coin helps.
And Blade Mail. With the amount of damage Drow Ranger pumps out, it's a lot like the Focus Fire from the Wind Ranger. Like, you'll die very quickly if you Focus Fire or right-click a person with Blade Mail, so you have to be careful with target switching. I like this show. I like that pickup a lot, actually. I don't know if it really gives you enough in terms of armor or survivability. It helps. I mean, he's sitting at 21 armor, which is pretty good. It's going to be a lot harder to chew through him. There's no Desolator, there's no armor reduction yet on this Radiant team. I think it's a good item choice. It's a really good item choice from Evzil. So both teams making smart decisions for the most part. There's some stuff, but that happens in every Dota game, even with pros. Some sloppy stuff. They're both playing really well. Jump in, stun, double edge, Torpedo Felix next up as well. There's the Stampede, slowing him down with a couple of right clicks from Scottman to shoot the kill, but they're turning it around. They're getting the Shackle Shot as well as the Ethereal Blade, but again, Scottman with that Mana Shield just goes to work. They'll take one down, and here comes Dilchisto laying into him. He's going to take down Comrade Bubba, and Evzil's going to be next. 4 dead, and well, Mr. Banana Man might be the last. They'll try to come it off the path of retreat, and Dilchisto will find him. This last right click, he's got it, and he gets the double kill. They'll buy back, but that is almost certainly one of the nails in the coffin being hammered in, and if not being prepared. Dilchisto coming in and laying in with the help of his squad. And finds Comrade Bubba, obviously the biggest target in this game. And now with him bent down for 42 seconds, the axe down for 30, this is almost certainly a tier 3 and more than likely a set of racks as well. The Orchid will go and this Mr. Banana will try to go to work, but it's just not going to be a man fight he can win. The Scotty will be coming soon, and they will get an increased influx of gold after this Rax is gone. And it's beginning to look like the end of days here for this Dire team. Real solid stuff from this Radiant squad. Dilchisto as well as Scottman carrying the load with some good plays and setups from Sox Gusto. Some solid support play from Modern Scribe and Coleaf, and they're doing rather well. Shackle Shot will come through. Mr. Banana Man needs to be careful. Could have gotten swapped had the Orchid not been there by the Vengeful Spirit. Now you can see Dilchisto's going in. The call will go, almost push him out of it with a Blinding Light. Dilchisto more than likely going to die again. They don't have detection. They will give Coleaf's life away as a martyr, but Dilchisto is going to hightail it out. There's the Force Staff. Modern Scribe also were looking to give his life away, but they've already secured 2 sets of racks, and more than anything, a lot of kills. Scribe will go down. Comrade Bubba gets a double kill, but it seems to be too little too late at this point. I don't see this game going on much longer. It would be an insane comeback, to say the least. This Dusa has 25,000 net worth. This Drow Ranger also sitting at 18,000 net worth. Real good game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Man, I've just been thinking about these 2 carries, Dusa and Drow, and I had completely forgotten to mention this earlier on in the game, but Precision Aura is probably why Dusa had such a good lane in that mid lane when you think about it. Dusa's right click is good, it's definitely very good, and you can fight against a Wind Ranger and have a pretty good time and be even. And I don't want to make it sound like, yes, it was the Drow Ranger that won this matchup in the mid lane, but it certainly helped. So you got to give credit for them for drafting this as well. This is a pretty good draft when you look at it. Also, a team that runs Centaur is honestly, Centaur has been coming back and being played a little bit more, but still, it's nice to see. Anyways, they will lose Drow Ranger early on here, as you can see, and Scottman has to back away. Dilchisto just got dropped quickly. So down for 65 seconds, and he's going to... I think with that Butterfly, they can really start being a little bit more aggressive. A BKB would probably be better for both of these heroes, really. Well, maybe not the Dusa, but definitely for the Drow Ranger. She's getting destroyed by, like, Orchids and Calls. Call obviously goes through BKB, but the Ethereal Blade, you know. A BKB would probably be the most proper choice, but again, you don't really want to have to build a BKB in pubs.
Dire's middle tower is under
fun.
attack.
Sucks Gusto. Shackle shot. Modern Scribe caught out. See you later. Sox Gusto probably dead as well. The Dire team fighting back with every ounce of strength they have, and they will take 3. The Drow as well as the Dazzle and Centaur get caught out. Some staying longer than others. And we've hit the 42-minute mark of this game with probably... I think that the Dire team needs about 3 to 4 of those in order to come back into this game, with Morphling getting the majority of those kills. Right now, he's just not close enough. 5.3k. Look at his items, too. Ethereal Blade, Manta Style, and Helm of the Dom. He has like 2.5 items right now. His boots, with no Boots of Travel or Treads, which would be another item, or at least half an item. And then a Perseverance, which is like maybe a quarter of an item at this point in time, with how good Lincoln Spear actually is in comparison to that item. So it's really not the Morphling anymore. I feel like it's more like the Drow Ranger. Milchisto right-clicking down some illusions, not realizing which one was the real one. It's okay. Boots of Travel now done for the Juices, so we can have both bots as well, a TP scroll, I guess, if you will, as well as the Aegis. Probably sell his Treads or Phase Boots, rather, excuse me, when he gets back to base. On top of that, he's 3k gold, so we can start building into a Moon Shard or another item for the Aegis slot whenever it does go away. And that could be Butterfly, I think, is probably the more likely choice. The most likely choice, anyway. Speaking of, there's the Butterfly for Milchisto. So, I mean, they have all the items, maybe with the exception of a BKB on the Drow Ranger, to win this game. A BKB on the Drow Ranger, a BKB on the Centaur also. He does have Ags, though, so... I mean, if there's any real hard period of damage coming out, all Sox Custo has to do is hit R and become the, essentially, Devotion Aura for this team. I mean, that's what it is. It's Devotion Aura with Aura Mastery turned on. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll figure it out one day, or you could just Google it, and you'll figure it out. Sox Custo. This might be the final gasp of this Dire team. They are on death's door right now as we speak. They're barely hanging out. They have some good damage, but that is a replicate, unfortunately, that they both swapped and stomped. Good shackle shot, but I don't think you move out of the base to fight this, and Torpedo Felix realizes that very quickly when all of his creeps die. Sox Custo will take a couple of Shadow Poison stacks, nothing too serious. The Mana Lake will go away. He can move now, deciding not to. Finally will. So, here we go. Mr. Banana Man coming in. There's the Metzstyle. Waveform goes through, but El Chisto is disrupted. He'll pop the Metzstyle as well, and Comrade Bubba is in trouble. Silenced up, stopped as well. See you later. Dead for 84. Has to buy back as well. On the other side, Scottman going to work. Evzel getting caught. Shackle shot will lash, but here comes Sox Custo. Double edge. Mr. Banana Man has to hightail it out of there. On the other side, it's a man fight. That Comrade Bubba is not winning. He is about to fall and will. It is a dieback as he's apart from the rest of his team. And Milchisto just lays into him. Double Edge will finally bring down that pesky Keeper of the Light, and it looks as if the Radiant team have won this Captain's Mode game. Elrelion caught and killed. Evzel's going to be next. As the Blade Mail is up, but not doing much for him. Mr. Banana Man will get dropped with a triple kill from Milchisto. And it looks like he will end the game, sitting at 9-3-7. A nice scoreline. Plenty of CS to go his way as well. Sitting at almost 600 GPM for this game. And there it is. GG, finally. The Radiant team, never really an issue for them. They had a couple of bad fights here and there, but they were always ahead. Always, always, always ahead. From start to finish, wire to wire, it's going to be for STD, great name, by the way, their victory. So, really good stuff. Okay, we're going to just X out of this. I would like to see the score screen, but I guess that's not happening. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. Well, that'll be it for this particular replay match. I can't figure out how to get out of it, apparently. So that's unfortunate. But with that, we will head on out. I will see you guys next time for another replay game. Thank you so much to, of course, Nilchisto for uploading this, and the boys for playing with him on the Radiant team. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.